ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Just Plain Living. I'm John Gray.
Good morning. I'm just waking up.
Just waking up.
And I'm Jim Puller.
You awake, Jim?
Yeah, I'm awake. Julia came over and told us before we started, y'all, that we were showing entirely too much enthusiasm this morning, and that was in a sarcastic way. So apparently, so apparently we weren't quite at the stage we should have been when we started the show today.
Up to snuff.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
John and I have been doing this show for some 20 years, and it was a whole lot easier 20 years ago to be up.
Right. Because you just stayed up, didn't you?
Yeah, actually, we've told the story a number of times, but John and I used to go from a bar scene where we were doing karaoke shows into this show about 4 hours later. So, yeah, we were still up.
You were still up,
Yeah, but it's hard to make the transition from 1 o'clock in the morning singing karaoke songs. Less than a family atmosphere.
Do you think people are doing karaoke as much as they used to?
Oh, yeah.
It was really popular for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, I think so.
It still is.
Is it still?
Yeah, it still is, yeah.
It's where you can, but one thing that I notice as well is that there are a whole lot of people more and more, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm just getting savvy enough to be able to find stuff, but there's an incredible amount of music and performance on the internet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not just stars, but I mean people
just going on YouTube,
blogs have their
own,
iTunes podcast and all of that kind of stuff, and you can just see all kinds of things.
And a lot of people get famous that way.
Certainly do. You don't have to wait for somebody to say, anoint you and say, you come up here and do this. You do it yourself and hope somebody finds you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And often they do. Yeah.
And often they do, and there's a lot of great stuff there as well.
Well, as we began to see in the latter years of our career in karaoke, there were a lot of really good singers out there. I mean, early on, it was hard to find them.
Could easily emulate the artist that was on the CD.
Sure.
Well, that whole industry is about. I was conversing with someone yesterday about writing and performing, and it's all about. It's not about how good you are. It's about who you know and who owes who a favor and
who can tune your microphone to make your voice just right.
So it's that game is the same as it's always been played. It's through contacts and debt.
But I saw something the other day, an article about the Beatles, and they were saying that the Beatles would have never been as popular if they came on the scene now as they were in the 1960s.
Because they were so fresh and new.
Well, yeah, and it's not just that, but then there was so much anticipation when they played here in the United States on the Ed Sullivan
Show. Now
there's
be so much competition, I guess.
It is, but you can see so much online,
Right.
So, the Beatles, the week leading up to that performance on the Ed Sullivan Show, which was their first performance, I believe, in the United States.
Yeah. That was 50 years ago.
It was huge, all the hype that went into that.
Well, that's the only place they could be seen.
Exactly. But now, there'd be 150 clips out there that you'd be able to see on the internet.
And the thing about it is also, it's been about 4 years ago now, or it might have been more than that. We had a young man came over who was doing some filming at Bonnaroo, who was a documentary filmer. And he found out about our studio, and he wanted to interview someone, and he needed a place to do it. He brought this lady over here, and he had just finished a documentary on the death of music, and it was about the fact that he said, Elvis Presley couldn't get a deal right now.
Oh, that's true.
Probably, because it's all tied up in clear channel radio, and you can't go in with your guitar and your CD and go to the program guy at the radio station and say, here, I'm John Gray from Tullahoma, and here's the greatest song you've ever heard, and play it on the radio and have people
doesn't work
call
that way anymore.
Can't get close to those people.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a guy sitting in Atlanta somewhere in a room with computers that's programming probably 100, 200 radio stations.
Sure.
What performers have to do today is something tremendously outrageous to get noticed.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
So
and what's a shame to me is somebody, you got to fit in that mold. You got to be probably less than 30. I'd say to be able to do that anymore, and that's a shame when some great talent like George Jones, who was quite the character anyway, but couldn't get played on the radio in his latter years. I mean, nobody plays.
Not around here.
Yeah.
Now, when I was traveling, the further from Nashville you got, the more music you heard.
Yeah.
Nashville's playlist is about 30 songs.
Yeah.
And they don't play any of the old stuff. And when you get further out west and away from Nashville, where in the Midwest, where the record labels don't control what's on the air, you hear all kinds of things.
Well, our good friend Billy Keeble lives in Texas, I believe, and and has made a career out of doing traditional country things.
Right, independent.
Yeah, and I've heard some of his stuff, and it's done pretty much like country was done many years ago. And he's done extremely well. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and Texas is full of great music.
And has his own radio show.
Austin City Limits. Did you ever watch
Well,
that?
if you recall, in the years that we lived in Atlanta, there was more country music venues where people were actually playing country music in Atlanta than there was in Nashville. Where
that's interesting, because you almost thought it might be blues.
Well,
it's
John and I could never make country music work at the Legion.
No.
It just didn't work. Here we are 70 miles from Nashville, and we tried it a number of times. I guess the most successful one we ever had probably was Stan Allen.
Stan Allen, yeah.
But
that's because he was local.
Yeah, but outside of that, you just couldn't seem to make. People weren't buying into that.
Weren't buying into it.
Well, that club was kind of specific. It was more of a dance club, and people came there to
modern music, I guess.
To dance, and not two-step. They came there to.
The ballroom dance?
No, not ballroom.
Just
it
was a get-down boogie, sweat, dance.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Which we loved, because that meant that they needed to put more liquids in their body.
Yeah, we always
spent their money.
When we were doing the karaoke things, we always felt like we had failed if there wasn't some points during the evening that we had them sweating.
Yeah,
we had. I mean,
had to make them sweat.
Yeah.
You hadn't done enough. You hadn't done your job.
We hadn't done our
Worked
job.
hard for the money.
Yeah,
and that's what entertainment's all about, is entertaining. Talent is not always the top thing involving being an entertainer. It's whether you can entertain or not. Sammy Davis Jr. wasn't the greatest singer in the world, wasn't the greatest dancer in the world, but he was an entertainer. He would grab them by the throat and keep them as long as he wanted to. And
Satchmo playing his trumpet and then singing.
That's right.
His singing was way out there.
Yeah. But he could get you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's people who can do that. People that, I don't care how well they can sing or how pretty they are, can't do it.
You're right. That's true.
It's that innate thing that's in some people.
And particularly, I think,
that allow them to shine. It shines through them.
Yeah.
And particularly when you're doing like a 4-hour gig, you get boring if you're not able to
jack it up
to get
to
them.
Right.
To really get to them, whether it's joking or what you're saying, or entertaining.
Yeah. And then behind all of that, no matter how big a star you are or how good you are, there's the business guys who have got all the money who can shut you off immediately, and you're fired, and you're not. They pull the belt buckle off of you and stick it on somebody else.
This is getting so depressing.
And a classic example of that, it's not musical, but look at Jay Leno. I mean, Conan's a great comedian, I think, and I'm sure we'll do well. But look,
that's the last one.
No, that
was the last one.
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. Oh
yeah,
my gosh, he just wipes me out.
You can tell I watch a lot of late night TV,
Conan was the last time Leno got fired.
Last time Leno got fired, that's right. But Leno's sitting here, and for 22 years has had the #1 show in that time slot,
which is pretty amazing.
It is pretty amazing, but he's out.
But they fired him. And within a year and a half, it went to hell. They put him back there. He brought it back up to the #1 slot.
He may be ready to go this time.
He's
I saw it. I forget where the interview was at, but he did an interview for I think it might have been 60 Minutes, but you know, he was saying, you know, guys, they paid me a lot of money to do this.
Sure.
I'm not bitter about this. I knew this coming in that one day I'd be fired.
Sure.
You know, and he said that's what you got to do. If you're in this business, you get paid a lot of money, so there's no use griping about it. When it's time for you to go, just take your check and go on. You know.
Yeah.
Well, and, you know, all he has to do is go to Vegas 4 or 5 times a year.
Oh, sure, and then go
and do his stand-up work and buy another vehicle.
Yeah.
Great news! Charlie Sheen's getting married for the 4th time.
Is he?
Yeah, he's marrying a porn star.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the news this morning.
Well,
True love.
True love.
True love. Well, that's another guy that's made several comebacks.
Oh, sure. And he'll keep doing it until his days are done.
Yeah.
When he got fired from 2.5 Men, and then he got his own some kind of cable show that paid him $gazillion.
Anger management.
Yeah, anger management.
Anger management. It's all about exactly what he just got through doing.
Right.
Except in the show, he's the doctor explaining to people how to deal with it.
I want to tell people about.
Tell them.
Friday
Tell it.
at South Jackson Civic Center. Is that okay? Am I jumping the gun on anything?
I'll go ahead.
It's all right? Okay.
It's done.
It's a Friday at the South Jackson Civic Center. MTSU will be doing a reception, the Alumni Association at 6:30, and we're having the dance theater from MTSU. We invite everybody to come out Friday the 21st.
That's right.
And there's a dance workshop in the afternoon. Hopefully there will be some students that will come to that. Just call 455-5321.
And John, you did an interview last week on this show. I think there's a free concert for children. It's a Christian based. No, well, maybe not Christian based, but in Shelbyville this weekend, on Saturday,
right.
22nd.
And it's free.
Yes.
It's free for all school children.
Right, and it's put on by the firefighters, I believe.
Firefighters and the folks out of Bedford County.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great thing. They have some exceptional talent going to be there, and we're going to be over there doing some filming on that. And also we can't close this portion without saying one thing right here, and this is coming from all of us here at Channel 6, Charter Channel 6. We want to lift up the family of Tommy Shelton, and Tommy's fighting really hard with bad illness in the hospital, and we just want you to know, buddy, we're thinking about you and we're praying for you, and keep fighting. Don't give up.
Absolutely. And he was and still is a great entertainer. And absolutely.
Spark plug.
Absolutely.
With energy.
Spark plug, and so keep sparking, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be right back after these messages.
With over 30 years' experience servicing the Tullahoma area, Mike's Tire, Brake, and Muffler has become a household name in Middle Tennessee. As a family-owned business, Mike and his wife Lisa, along with their sons Jamie, Justin, and Jody, have assembled a crew that delivers quality service to go with quality products. As the only authorized Michelin and Goodyear dealer in Tullahoma, they have become the tire store of choice, being named the Tire and Brake Store of the Year multiple times. They also rent Penske trucks and are an interstate battery dealer. So if you need tires, brakes, mufflers, a battery, or maybe rent a truck, go to the place you can trust. Call Mike's Tire, Brake, and Muffler at 931-455-5150. Located at 732 North Jackson in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
The final countdown has begun on the remaining 2013s at Russell Barnett Kia. With only a few left in inventory, these deals are amazing. Check out this 2013 Kia Sportage, yours today for $21,500 or $349 a month. That's incredible. With America's best warranty, the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, Kia is the power to surprise. So come on down to Russell Barnett Kia and let us show you why we are #1 in customer satisfaction. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
Serving you as a local firefighter.
Proudly served our country in the United States Air Force.
Serving Tullahoma.
Helping our kids.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop. Your comfort is our service. We'd like to thank Tullahoma for the privilege of serving your heating and cooling needs.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're pleased to have joining us on the set now Tom Robinson, who is the fairly new Executive Director of the Tullahoma Area Economic Development Council. Did I get that right? Corporation.
Yeah. Close.
Okay.
It was a C.
Almost got it right. Almost got it right. And Tom, I think you guys have been working on some plans and to accelerate economic growth relative to the retail side of things in Tullahoma, have you not?
Right. When our agency was formed in 2010, one of the sectors, we had 4 primary sectors, aviation, aerospace, healthcare, technology-related businesses, and retail. And retail was the one that we're talking about this morning, and we've had some activity recently in that regard.
Right. You've actually had, you've got 2 things that I'm aware of that are in the works right now in North Cape Mall, I believe.
That's right. We are working with the owners of North Cape Mall and Cherokee Square. They're looking at doing and are already doing part of a major renovation, about $12.5 million project. So we're looking at the state has allowed cities to do some special financing plans where you pay for renovations and of public use kind of things out of future tax proceeds. It's not cutting off anything we have now. It's actually using some of the future tax proceeds to pay for these improvements, about $1.8 million worth, and that after that period of time is up, whether it's 10, 12, 15, we're still working on those years, then all that money goes into the property taxes, go into the city, and if the county participates, county coffers, and not to mention the sales tax and the new jobs that are already and will continue to grow in there. So it's an exciting project.
That's something that's probably not widely understood. A lot of people are assuming that, without thinking this through, that the city's just writing them a check for that, which is the farthest thing from the reality.
That is not the case, and you're good to point that out. The city's not giving them any money. They're using future tax proceeds, not doing anything with existing taxes, but future tax to help fund the public infrastructure part, streets, drainage, lighting, anything where the public might use in that, and it's otherwise money that the city government doesn't have money to go out and give that to developers. So we use this method, and it's used all across the state of Tennessee and the nation, so it's not anything that's unusual to us.
Yeah, and I think you pointed out that additional tax money is generated because these businesses are either coming into town or expanding.
That's right. It's new businesses, and they've already gotten some that they've announced, but they're working on others. So we're excited about that. Just as we were excited, we got some new improvements with the Forest Gallery Shopping Center. John Wheeler and the Wheeler Real Estate Investment Trust are doing, have bought that property and are going to do some renovations with that, but mainly they're going to encourage their current tenants to expand and grow, and they've indicated they would. We actually met with and had Mr. Wheeler in, and he did a little 5-minute video, which I think you're going to show in a little bit, talking with Mayor Curley, and I would encourage your listeners to watch that video. It talks about, we believe Tullahoma is growing as a retail attraction, and so we think people from all around this area are going to come into Tennessee and bring their dollars and their tax revenue with us. So that helps fund our local infrastructure, our local schools, all those things. So it's good when we have more retail sales.
And I think you just hit on it there, though. But just looking at it as a casual observer, it appears that things are moving ahead in a very positive way for Tullahoma, especially in the retail area. We're excited, and of course, a couple of the early businesses that have been announced with the mall renovation are Joanne's Fabrics and a tool company, Harbor Freight. Right. The guys in the audience probably are going to know that. If you like shopping for tools, that's going to be coming this spring. And I know my wife is very excited. The fabric store and sewing accessories and things, Joanne's Fabrics is coming, and so those are going to be two nice. Did you guys plan it that way so that the guys and the girls could no, but it worked. It worked out well. It worked out well. Okay. So we're happy about that, and I think the citizens in the area will. But there are other things coming. So. It's all growing. Like I say, when your retail grows in a community, jobs are created, tax dollars which support the schools and roads and infrastructure and all those good things we like to have, but we really don't want to pay them directly out of our pocket, but voluntarily we pay them when we buy things. Exactly. All right. If I haven't taken up too much time, can we play that video now if we have time?
Tullahoma, Tennessee is a place where exciting things are happening and people are taking notice. Located in south central Tennessee, it's in the middle of a triangle bordered by three larger cities, Nashville, Chattanooga, and Huntsville, Alabama. In addition to residents in the immediate Tullahoma area, other people from surrounding communities in the region are driving to shop in Tullahoma, utilize the city's healthcare, banking, and other services, see a movie, or just enjoy a good meal. Recognizing the viability of this centrally located hub and provider of goods and services, a Virginia-based company recently invested the largest amount of money ever to buy an existing Tullahoma retail center with plans to remodel and expand the center, adding to the growing economic base of the city. Tullahoma Mayor Lane Curley talks with John Wheeler, Chairman and CEO of the Wheeler Real Estate Investment Trust, about their decision to invest millions of dollars in this exciting growing retail center.
Good day, this is Lane Curley, Mayor of Tullahoma, Tennessee, and we're very pleased to have with us today John Wheeler. And I understand that you've made a pretty major investment in our community and you've got some exciting news. Tell us about it, John.
I do. We just recently purchased Forest Gallery here on your main retail strip, your main corridor here in town, and spent $11.5 million on a 214,000-foot shopping center. And quite frankly, it's probably one of the best acquisitions we've had in the last 14 years.
That's great. That's exciting. We appreciate very much the investment in the community. Tell us a little bit about John Wheeler and tell us a little bit about Wheeler Real Estate Investment Trust.
You bet. Thank you, sir. I've been in the business for 32 years and our firm has been in the business specifically for 14 years, and we just recently took our firm public back in November of last year. Okay. Start off with 8 assets and now we have 16 in the trust as traded on NASDAQ, and Forest Gallery is one of those 16.
Well, tell us a little bit about Forest Gallery.
Well, Forest Gallery is a perfect example of what we do. We love to purchase in the secondary and tertiary markets. We love to be on the main corridor. We love to have the leading grocery store in town. In this particular case, it's Kroger. They're the dominant grocery store. And then you have other retailers like Peebles and Tractor Supply. And I'm happy to say that through our 10 interviews and since we bought the shopping center, both Tractor Supply and Kroger would like to expand over the next 12, 24 months.
Oh, that's great. That's great news. Any other exciting announcements that you would like to share with our viewers?
Yes, and matter of fact, we always like to bring in retailers that are not currently represented in a particular submarket. And one that's not here yet that should be here, that hopefully will be here in the future, is Starbucks. Mm-hmm. And Starbucks is a great example where they're going into the secondary and tertiary markets because they need to expand as well, and Tullahoma would be a great marketplace for them.
Oh, that is good news. Now, you have many communities from which to choose to invest in. Why did you choose Tullahoma?
I would say probably first and foremost, safe, the quality of lifestyle, the economic drivers here in town and the surrounding areas. We look at a 3, 5, 10, and even a 15-mile radius. But when you look at the core of the town itself, the demographic support, and they're the demographics that support a shopping center with a grocery anchor tenant, and really Forest Gallery is more of a community center. It's just not a neighborhood center, and it's drawing from a much larger community area with the tenants that are in that center.
Okay. And now you will do some things to really promote the center, I'm sure.
You bet. And we're very involved with the community aspect. We have a young lady by the name of Susan Pleasance. She's our tenant coordinator. And we're very proud, not only do we do philanthropic work at the corporate level, but we also do it at the property level specific to each town. We join the chambers. We have different community events for 4th of July, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. We have car shows, blood drives. It's very important for us to be connected to the community.
Good. That's exciting news. We appreciate very, very much your investment in our community. And for anyone watching, if you would like to invest in just a great growing community, we'd love for you to make contact with us. We'd love to talk with you. And Mr. Wheeler, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We appreciate again your investment in our community.
Thank you.
All right, Tom, and I assume you're using this video to probably promote the
We are. We're sending it out attached to emails. We're sending it to developers and retailers. And we have a retail consulting firm, Retail Strategies of Birmingham, Alabama, a lady by the name of Lacey Beasley, and they're using it also to help promote.
I see. Well, Tom, I appreciate very much you coming by today, and I'm sure in the job that you have, we're going to be seeing a lot more of you over the coming days.
I would find it a pleasure. I've enjoyed it, Jim.
All right. Thank you so much. Folks, we'll be right back with more living following these announcements.
Let the Smokehouse be your mountain getaway destination in beautiful Monteagle, Tennessee. Enjoy our cabins, restaurant, and old general store. Shop thesmokehouse.com featuring homemade barbecue sauces, jellies, and many other fine Tennessee products. Our live Music on the Mountain series features some of the best local and Nashville talent every Friday and Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. No cover, kids welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please, for the following public service announcement. He's back! The Watkins Man is back, bringing his world-famous Watkins products to 104 East Lauderdale Street in Tullahoma, where Richard and Stephanie Carpenter have opened the area's only Watkins store. Since 1886, Watkins has produced all-natural products, starting with the pain liniment and now including soaps, oils, creams, scrubs, royal jelly, beeswax, supplements dedicated to natural health and pain management, cover total external and internal body care. And don't forget the world-famous spices, extracts, teas, and cooking ingredients. With too many products to list, know that all Watkins products are 100% natural using the highest quality ingredients obtainable. Always remember with Watkins, when you buy the best, you use less.
To rid yourself of body pain, stiffness, and stress while increasing circulation, visit the Balance Spa in Shelbyville at 731 North Main Street. Or have them visit you at your office for a chair massage. Simon Cow and Maria Keys Gammon give a professional full-body foot or chair massage that makes you feel like new. Call owner Linda Hackle Brown at 931-639-4885 to set your appointment today.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham, and you're watching Just Plain Living here on Charter Channel 6.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and I'm excited today to have some woodworking people on with me because I love wood. I'm a woodworking person myself. And this is Vince Accardi right here, and I'm sorry.
Hi. Karen Browning.
Karen Browning, and you are two members of the
Tennessee Valley Woodworkers.
Tennessee Valley Woodworkers, and you are going to have a show at South Jackson Civic Center that starts this weekend?
Next weekend.
Next weekend.
Next weekend.
Think of the first week in March. It starts on March 2nd, which is Sunday, and runs through March 9th, the following Sunday.
Okay, so you'll be there a week?
We will be there 1 week.
And that is great. So kind of give us a little bit of understanding about what your club does.
Okay. We've been in existence for about 28 years, and basically it's just a group of guys and girls. As our fearless leader, who are just interested in woodworking. And when I retired, I joined the woodworking club, and the big difference for me is the fact that I didn't know much about woodworking, but you had fellows who were doing this for 30 years who were great to help you, and I had never touched a lathe before, and Karen just wanted to talk a little bit about bowl making, and this is something that we teach, and I've learned from scratch. You know, something I've never done before. But
okay, so sort of take us through this. I would assume that this right here is where you start.
Yep.
Right, and people are always asking, where does the bowl come from in the piece of wood? Well, if you look at the grain line, it runs up and down. And if you turn this way, you'll see the grain line is the same. And so the bowl actually comes from a half of a log, and the grain line runs up and down. So for that kind, you could do it from the time you cut the log down. This is a green turning, and you could turn it green. And then, Vince, you want to tell them about the others?
The first step, once you have, you split your log, you'll just basically cut a circle out of it, and this is what we would call a blank. Now, if you turn these when they're green on a lathe, you'll get wet. I mean, this will throw a lot of water out.
Right.
And what you'll do is initially you'll rough turn the bowl, and this is a rough turn bowl that was done.
Look how thick it is.
Well, in October, obviously, and you take it to this point, then you'll let it dry very slowly for 3-6 months, and at that point you'll put it back on the lathe, and you'll end up with something like this. These are things
this was a green
Karen
turning.
have done.
Yeah, well, something like this. It's thinner, as you can see from the rough turning. It's thick, and then it changes shapes. We have to let it sit for a while because it will change shapes, and then when it's dry, we can turn it to a round shape. But again, this is going this way, so it went in the tree like this. This was the middle of the tree, and the bark came around this way.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
If we did a natural edge, this was turned green, and I think you can see how it's not even round anymore. But the grain line...
that sort of makes it unique.
It does, and this bark was left on, so this right here was the center of the tree, and then the bark went around this way.
All right, so I'm going to ask probably the question you get asked a bunch. How do you make sure the bark stays on?
Well,
because a lot of times when you have lumber and it's allowed to season, the bark will turn loose and fall off.
Well, you have to select carefully. This one right here, it lost its bark, but that's okay. I just cleaned it up. This one, it didn't have bark on it because it was an old piece of wood to begin with. So it's still, you have the natural edge. And then probably on this one, I would say I used a little glue when it started popping off. You can put glue on there and help it hold on.
What you'll do is you'll just take a wood glue, and cut it 50% with water, and just keep soaking this for maybe 3 or 4 times. And when it dries, then you should be able to turn it, so basically it's glued on there.
So, I mean,
this one actually
you answered my question. Good. That's the kind of things you learn if you go to become a member of your club.
Absolutely. All the tips and hints from years and years of experience they share.
Now, what are these 2 implements right here?
Okay, these are basically just the cutting tools that you would use to turn these bowls, and really they're just they're called bowl gouges.
They're knives.
they're basically knives that are just shearing the wood. And you spend a lot of time thinking about sharpening them.
Thinking about
it's one of the things I learned when I got into this is I really did not know what a sharp tool was.
Right.
But you learn that
very quickly.
You need sharp tools.
Very quickly.
And again, that when we have a turning bee, which is what introduced
a turning bee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once a year, the club will get together. We'll maybe move 6 or 7 lathes to a particular area, and then invite anyone who has never turned to come, and we have instructors, and they'll show them the basics and talk through all the steps, and then you can take a rough turn bowl that you've turned at the turning bee, bring it home, and try to finish it yourself in a couple of months. So,
where do you get your wood, your raw materials?
Well, in Tennessee, that's not a problem.
Wonderful place.
People drop trees everywhere, and once the word is out that you're in a club, normally you get a call from a neighbor or someone saying, "I have to cut down a cherry tree. Do you need any of it?" So basically, it's mostly free. This is box elder, and we had a friend who dropped a very large box elder tree and called up the club, and
that's beautiful.
Several of us.
Actually, this one came from over here at the Hollyberry Inn, the old Hollyberry Inn here in Tullahoma.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you own and are remodeling.
Oh, I'm slow, but I'm getting there.
That's good. Do you go out and kind of search for unique pieces of wood? When you're riding around and you're taking a trip, or you're going out in the country and you're driving around, do you have your eye out for, oh, look at that tree over there? For some reason, it came down and it split and it's made a bowl, open spot in the middle.
Absolutely.
Of the so you're going, wait, keep an eye on that. So when it gets cut down, I want this piece right
Or the burls on the edge of the trees. Ooh.
And so what you will end up doing is actually just ring a doorbell and ask them.
Right.
If someone has dropped a tree, just ask them if you can have a couple of pieces of wood, and come back with a chainsaw and cut it up.
Okay, well, we have about 30 seconds left here. Let's get back into the fact that you're not this Saturday, but next Saturday you are starting your show.
Right, well, next Sunday. We'll be loading up on Saturday.
Okay, next Sunday you'll be starting your show. It'll be at South Jackson Civic Center. It'll be back in the Donna London Rehearsal Hall.
Correct.
And you will be there for a week.
Yes, and so Sunday we'll have a reception from 2 to 5 at the opening.
Right.
And it'll be open every day from
11 to 7.
11 to 7. Okay. And then it will close that following Sunday.
Okay, and will there be pieces for sale?
There will.
Or is this just an instructional?
No, there will be many pieces on display, and you can talk to the actual woodworker
who made it. The pieces in the exhibition will not necessarily be for sale, because we want them to stay there for everybody to look at them. But they can pick up a card of the woodworker who made it and contact them.
Okay,
commissions will be accepted.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
This is great. Good stuff.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome to Merle Norman, located inside Northgate Mall in Tullahoma. Since 1931, Merle Norman Cosmetics have been researched, developed, manufactured, and packaged in the USA, using the highest quality ingredients and unmatched customer service to help women look and feel better about themselves.
Hi there, I'm Christy Almacher, owner of Merle Norman. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about Merle Norman products. We have a large line of skincare and cosmetics for all skin types. Merle Norman's motto is try before you buy, so we'd love for you to come in, talk to us about your concerns, try the products, and we want you to feel good when you leave here, so we hope to see you soon.
Want to feel good in your skin? Visit Merle Norman in Northgate Mall, Tullahoma.
Partners for Healing provides medical care to the working uninsured of Coffee, Franklin, and Moore counties. We are in Tullahoma from 8 to 5, Monday through Thursdays, and in Manchester on Fridays from 8 to 12. We provide primary medical care and offer an in-house disease management program.
My name is Rosie Mitchell, and I would just like to say I am blessed to have partners in my life.
Please call 455 5014 for more information. Thank you for being one of our partners for healing.
It's over! It's over! The Shovel Girls have defeated Bradley County for the state championship.
Shelbyville's the winner, 48-46.
Join the Bobby Locke Coach 1964 state champions March 22nd from 5 till 8 p.m. in the Shelbyville Central High School Gymnasium as they relive that memorable evening when they came together to win the first state championship for Shelbyville. Join us for a meet and greet with players and cheerleaders from 1964 and enjoy a 3-on-3 basketball game featuring members of the championship team. Contact Sylvia Sanders Pinson at 931-580-9696 or Amy Feeney Wells at 931-581-8194 for more information.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Excalibur limousine provided by AAA Limousine Service, and these are the South Jackson Gatsby Girls, starting the promotion for the Great Gatsby Gala that will be held at South Jackson June 7th, 2014. Get your party hat on, folks. It's gonna be a ball. What about it, girls?
Here's to ya.
Welcome back to Living. I'm on the set today with Deborah Holliday, a writer right here in our midst. From Winchester?
Yes.
And I got interested in your books. I had not heard of them, and just sitting back there talking to you, it sounded like fun. How long have you been writing, Deborah?
All my life, as long as I could hold a pencil.
Really? Did you, even when you were tiny, did you have little books running around in your head?
Oh, yes. Yes, I always had a good story.
That's great. And you write mainly for what age group?
Mainly for children. I have one book that is for like 4 to 6 year olds.
And then middle school.
And then middle school.
But you did say that you find older people are getting interested, especially in your series.
Right. As many adults has read the series, has read the first book of the series.
I thought this was the sweetest thing. Adventures of Tommy, that was your first book?
This was my first one.
And it was written for whom?
This was written for my grandson when he was 4. He will soon turn 27, so it's taken me that long to get it published. So.
But, was it Tommy that gave you the idea to write, or the inspiration, or did it just come to you on the spur of the moment?
The way it started is he had picked out a Halloween costume that his mother purchased for him. When he got it home, the mask glowed in the dark, and he was afraid of it.
He was scared of his own costume.
He was afraid of his costume. So he hid the mask in the drawer. So I wrote the first story, which is Tommy's Halloween adventure. And at the end of the story, the little boy is no longer afraid of his mask. So
that's so sweet, because a lot of children have things that they're fearful of, and I think that probably would help to eliminate that.
Well, after that, he took his mask out and put it on and wore it around the house and enjoyed it.
Did Tommy, when he learned to read, did he want to read his own book?
He's read that many times, yes.
I think that is so sweet. And then is this Farrah Morgan series. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that. I love that. I don't know if they can see that, but it's Morris Ferry.
Morris Ferry, yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I use local areas as my inspiration for sites, and Morris Ferry is the first one. Farrah Morgan is a mystery series that's along the genre of Nancy Drew, Trixie Belden, Hardy Boys.
And stories that continue.
Stories that continue. The second book in the series will come out this spring, probably in about 2 months.
So this is the first
That's
of the
series. That's the first of the series, Farrah Morgan Mystery at Morris Ferry.
I love that.
So.
And that's a fairly thick book. How long does it take you to write a book like this?
It took me probably about 6 weeks because I already had the storyline and the idea in my head. I just couldn't pull the characters together. And then one day, as I was sitting there watching my grandchildren interact, I thought, I've got my characters right here.
There they were.
There they were.
Sitting in front of you.
So
have you got every one of the grandchildren in this book?
I do. All 4 of my grandchildren are the main characters of the book.
And all their personalities are probably different.
Their personalities are right, and so I've used bits and pieces of their personalities.
Well, this must thrill them to death.
Well, they seem to be a little impressed.
Love it, yeah. And how do we get this book if we want to order it or?
They're available at barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, and Amazon Kindle.
So you can buy this on Kindle. Like if I just went to a store to buy that, what would that cost me?
I think the retail is $10.95.
Well, that's a good deal. Well, it sounds like a wonderful series, and I think what's exciting about it is that it's just local.
Right.
And it's about your people. So this series, how long do you think that'll go on? How many?
Well,
how many do you think you'll write?
I actually have 4 books. I have 2 more planned. Okay. In my head, I have the second book is written. I'm working on the 3rd book, which is Farrah Morgan, and it's a Morris Ferry trilogy. I didn't intend that, but at the end of the 2nd book, Farrah took me in a whole different direction than I had intended to go. So that made it necessary to have a 3rd Morris Ferry book.
So how did you get that first book out there? Who did you see? How did you go about doing that?
Well, Adventures of Tommy, I have a deep drawer full of rejection letters.
Oh, really?
Actually, I was working toward another goal.
The moral of the story is never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up.
You're never
do it.
That's right. Just keep going. I had another goal in mind that wasn't working out. So one day my husband said, "Why don't you work on your books? That's what you love the best." And I thought, okay. So I sent the manuscripts of Adventures of Tommy out one more time, and a few months later I got a phone call.
Isn't that awesome?
And I thought it was a joke.
And it was for real.
And it was for real. It was an editor.
Wonderful. Now, I know that you've had a few book signings, and you have one coming up in April?
In April, at Barnes & Noble in Murfreesboro.
Well, that's a pretty big deal, isn't it?
I think so.
I'd be excited about that.
I'm very excited about that.
So you think you have a new series to lay on the table when you get there?
I'm hoping the 2nd book in the Farrah Morgan series will go with me that day.
That'll be nice.
That'll be good.
And do you have... I know you've got this series going in your brain. Do you have out there somewhere something else you're thinking about?
I have,
in a total different direction?
I do. I have a couple of Christian short stories that I have written, and one that I'm actually working on that is actually my sister's story.
Oh, that's nice.
And she passed away in 2006.
What a great
tribute. And it's a story that I think needs to be told for her.
And will you call it by her name, or do you have another idea for that?
At this point, I have a different name other than hers, but I may change that. I haven't decided yet.
Well, I'm just thrilled to think that you have pursued your dream, you've continued to write, and people need to know that it's never too late, that you just keep at it, and finally at last miracle will happen, and there you are writing your books. They're on Kindle. You can buy them at bookstores. Are they any here in Tullahoma?
They're not in any local bookstores, no. That's
but you have to go online to get the
online to get the books.
Or go to the book signing at Barnes & Noble. You don't have the date.
I don't have the exact date. I know it's in April, but I don't have the exact date.
That is wonderful. And you've been married 45 years, did you tell? 43.
44.
44. Okay, I'm getting close.
We just had our 44th anniversary.
And your husband encourages you to write.
Yes,
I think that's a real big plus. Not that you couldn't do it whether he encouraged you or not. Let's face it. You can do anything you want to.
That's right. I agree.
It was delightful meeting you.
Well, thank you. I've enjoyed it.
I'm thrilled to death. Don't forget, look for Farrah Morgan, the series, which is coming up, and Adventures of Tommy, which is a sweet story about a child.
And there's actually five short stories in there.
So they're easy to read. Good nighttime reading for children.
Very good nighttime reading.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you very much.
We'll have you back.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of Living.
Looking for a unique gift for someone special, or perhaps something just for yourself? Then you need to check out Grady Mac Denim Company, right here in the heart of Tullahoma. Grady Mac features the full line of men's and women's Lucky brand apparel. Stop in and check out our denim production line. Grady Mac offers a full line of outdoor sporting apparel and much more. And check out our custom fly fishing equipment, fine art, and signed sports memorabilia. There's something for everyone at Grady Mac Denim Company, the most unique store in Tullahoma.
The Russell Barnett Ford family has over 300 vehicles in inventory, both new and pre-owned. With vehicles starting as low as $29.95, along with rebates and incentives up to $10,000, you will not need to look any further than the Russell Barnett Ford family. Surrounded by great attitudes and even better prices, we want to save you time and money. So look no further than Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Russell Barnett Ford of Winchester, or visit us on the web at russellbarnett.com. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
We get closer to a world with more birthdays when we take cancer patients by the hand. We help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased to have joining us on the set here at Channel 6 Studios today, Mary Jo Teperick, who is with the Great Lake Cheese Company, who recently created quite a stir in our county because they had some very positive positive news for our economic climate in this county, because they're moving to the Manchester Industrial Park, and you're in town, I guess, doing some preliminary work on that. Is that correct?
That's right. We were here, my team was here to meet with some of the technical schools to start to talk about what kind of folks will be available for us to hire when we're ready to start staffing the plant.
Okay. Now, if I understand correctly, you guys are building a new plant in the industrial park. What is the progress of that?
So the plant, right now, if you went out to the site, not that I suggest anyone do that, the building hasn't gone up yet, but the footers are going to go in and we'll start building the plant. I think that, don't quote me on this, but I think walls up probably April, May time period, so that we can start getting the machinery in.
But you guys are already looking to find the people that you need to staff this factory.
We are. I mean, it's a big job to staff a plant like that, so we're already looking at the leadership roles, plant manager, that kind of thing, and starting to figure out kind of what kind of folks exist in the area so that we know how we can staff the entire plant. I mean, we need quality people, highly technical people to staff the plant. So we needed to meet with the technical schools, talk to some folks, and see how easy that's going to be.
Let's go back just a little bit here, because people probably should know this by now, but they may not. Tell us a little bit about your company, what Great Lakes Cheese Company. I know it's been around forever, it seems like.
Right. It's we're about 55 years old, and Great Lakes Cheese started outside of Cleveland by a gentleman named Hans Eppricht. It's still a family-owned business, and the family is involved day to day with the business. We actually have grown a lot in the last 15 years, almost tripled in size. So right now we have 4 plants in Wisconsin, of course, cheese land, right? So we have 2 manufacturing plants there. We make a blue cheese and a processed cheese, and 2 packaging plants. The bulk of our business actually is high-speed packaging. That's our bread and butter. And we package shreds, bars, and slices, or chunks and slices. Mostly private label, some food service. We have 2 plants in New York where we manufacture cheddar and mozzarella provolone, Italian style. Our headquarters in Ohio, we have we call a super plant attached to the corporate headquarters, and we also have a plant in Fillmore, Utah. So this will be our 9th plant.
9th plant. Unbelievable, the growth that this company has been able to attain.
Right. It's been excellent. The family has continued to invest in the company, so that growth is really because they believe in the company and spreading our customers out throughout the entire United States.
You mentioned that you mainly supply private label, so you actually manufacture this for other people who label it differently.
For grocery stores, so when you go into the grocery store and you see their private label product, we will have packaged that. We package most of the private label cheese in the country.
And do you also supply like distributors who distribute to restaurants and such?
We do. We have a part of our business is food service, so that would be for restaurants, fast food chains, that kind of thing. And we also have industrial sales, so cheese that's used in products, frozen foods, stuff like that, things like that.
Now, what motivated your company to decide to locate in Manchester?
So when we decided we needed to build another plant and looked at where it needed to be located in the United States to serve particularly our southern customers, Manchester, this area kept coming up as the best, most strategic place to locate. That's why we ended up here. And since we've been here, we've had such a warm welcome. We found such great people here. I think we just have a lot of confidence we'll be able to staff the plant with the kind of people that Great Lakes Cheese wants to hire. We're not a company that wants people who just want a job. We really want people to come and make a career of it. We have a lot of longevity. We have very little turnover throughout the company. So those are the kind of folks we're looking for to staff the plant.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the plant is currently under construction. Can you tell us a little bit about what it's going to be like, square footage and stuff like that?
So it's 340,000 square feet, and we actually have space to build it out if we need to, and it's been our history to expand when we need to expand. There'll be 14 high-speed lines in the plant. What I mean by that is the cheese comes from, a big block of cheese in through the machines to be converted to the slices, the shreds, or the blocks. So there'll be 14 of those running at any time, and it'll be the entire product mix, shreds, slices, and chunks.
Okay. All right. So now, of course, what is so important to the people of this area is you're going to create some jobs from this.
Right. So we'll start out probably at about 100 jobs, and these are very high-skilled jobs to a little less skilled, but every job in the plant, people need to be skilled. You at least need to be computer literate as a minimum. And because these are state-of-the-art machines, brand new, machines where people are going to have to know how to use the computer, work with the speeds that are really, really fast, and also are monitored or run by the computer systems.
Okay, and you're in town, I think you said, with your human resources crew now, so you're already out there looking for these people, is
Correct. In my position, I'm Vice President of Human Resources, and I brought my team, recruiting and training team, to start to look at what kinds of people are going to be out there for us to be able to hire. We won't actually start hiring until end of summer, early fall. But staffing a plant like that is really important. I mean, at the end of the day, you can put all the machines you want in, but it's the people that make things work.
And that's a great philosophy, by the way, that your company has there. So we're looking. The plant will be completed maybe within a year, but you're going to be looking to start bringing people on board, or at least hiring these people by the end of this summer.
Correct. I mean, we're going to need to start hiring people so that we can get them trained. Our intended go live would be January 2015. So that means people need to be trained and ready to go. When we hit the switch, everyone's going to need to be ready to move the cheese through the plant.
Okay. Now, will you be bringing some people from corporate that are already part of the company, I guess, to this area as well?
It could be. I mean, there probably won't be that many people brought as full-time positions here. Our intent is to hire as many people as we can from Tennessee. We obviously will be bringing people down from corporate or the other plants to train here, so that we can not just get people trained on the job, but also infuse our culture. I mean, a very important part of Great Lakes Cheese is the culture, the family feel of the business, and we want people who can really feel comfortable in that kind of environment.
Yeah, I'm perhaps a little bit biased because I'm from here, but I think your company is just going to be a great fit for this area. And as I mentioned when we started this interview, it's such an economic boost to our area here. And one last question though: when you work for Great Lakes Cheese, do you get free cheese? That they give you free cheese?
Well, sometimes sitting around in the plant, there's cheese to eat, but we do sell cheese at a discount. But I'm excited that you said you're excited, 'cause we're so excited to be here, and the folks we've met have been wonderful. So we know we're going to really find our family here.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the application process if people are interested in a career in Great Lakes Cheese.
Well, all of our jobs are online and will be posted online. We don't take any paper applications, so everyone who's going to apply is going to apply online, which is greatlakescheese.com. So even now, if someone's interested in looking ahead at the possibility of working for us, they could go on the website, kind of get a feel for the company, and also even apply and put their name through the process online. But all the applications will be done online. And I understand from the Industrial Board that they'll be getting some communications out when we start to hire, so people know that they can go online and take a look.
Okay. Well, you know, if you live here, you're very proud of our Industrial Board and the work that they've done on this. But you know, it's encouraging to us to know that they're really out there doing something. And right. I'm glad to see that.
Oh, they're doing a great job. Yeah, they've really made us feel welcome.
I was just kidding. I think so too. Well, welcome to our area.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We're looking forward to seeing you many, many more times.
Good. Thanks.
And we'll be right back in a moment with more living right after these messages.
The highest standard of trust offers a sense of safety and comfort. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of trust in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
Have you heard that little voice that beckons you to come home to Tennessee? Well, here's your chance. Here's a property offered by its owner. It's 20 miles from the National Walking Horse Celebration grounds in Shelbyville, Tennessee, and only 10 minutes away from the Jack Daniel Distillery in Lynchburg. It's located at 769 Shipman Creek Road. This property has over a 5,300 square foot home on 45 acres, and a sprawling 200 acres is also available. Let's take a look at the house. Built in 1998, this home has 4 bedrooms and 3.5 baths. This home offers wide open views, featuring the main floor with over 2,700 square feet of living room, an eat-in kitchen, a formal dining area, and a massive 20 by 19 master bedroom with a master bath and fireplace included. There is craftsmanship at every turn, solid cherry cabinets, built-in cherry shelves, and other solid cherry appointments. It's a 2-story home with 3 nicely sized bedrooms upstairs. Down a spiral staircase, the basement hosts a 40 by 40 den with a handcrafted bar. We're leaving the jukebox here, folks. The basement is a recreation room on steroids. There are too many closets to count and more than you'll ever need. There are so many places in this home to find peace that you'll seldom want to leave it. But when you do, you'll discover up to 200 acres of paved roads with city water. The property is quilted with streams, woods, ponds, and open pasture. The view from the porch alone is enough to say you're home. The property includes a 3-bay heavy construction shop and plenty of room to build stables and graze livestock. If Tennessee's been calling you home, start your journey by calling this number. A property like this comes on the market but once in a lifetime. We think you'll love it. We think you'll stay. This is a very real estate.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
All right, folks, I'm glad to have with me back again today in our celebration of Black History Month, Mr. Elmore Tolbert of the Mount Zion Church here in Tullahoma.
That's right.
And I just appreciate you taking your time for this month and coming in and helping us understand and respect and celebrate Black History Month here on Channel 6.
Well, John, let me say this. Before we get started into our discussion today, I just want to say I appreciate you and the Channel 6 team. I appreciate y'all for stopping everything and allowing me to do this, to just share a little bit of African American history, especially during this significant month. And man, I'm just tickled to death to be able to come and share just a couple notes that I've studied over the past few years and all that good stuff.
Well, now you're educating me, and I'm sure you're educating a lot of our audience out here.
I don't know about that, but you know, we might be doing a refresher course.
Okay, refresher course. But today we're going to talk a little bit about politics.
That's right. That's right. I thought that we should carry kind of like a little theme, you know, throughout this month as we talk and discuss. Last week we talked about some significant persons in African American history that got it started. Right. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about this week is the first in the political realm. You know, because coming out of slavery and the Emancipation Proclamation, Africans or African Americans who were coming out of slavery really didn't have much fight, didn't have much power, really didn't know a lot of what to do. So they had to pool their resources together in order to become or to have a voice. And so coming out of the Civil War era, entering into the Reconstruction era, there was one young man who was born a free African American here in America. His name was Hiram Revels.
Revels.
Yes, Hiram Revels.
Okay.
Yes, out of North Carolina. He was born to free parents, and he was a African Methodist Episcopalian preacher. AME is what they call it now.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. We use the abbreviation. He was an AME preacher, and as he was traveling around and being educated in seminary and preaching, he was an itinerant preacher, and he went down into Mississippi. And with his education, he was elected to the state senate of Mississippi, and he was ultimately one of the first, if not the first, in 1870 to become the first elected person to sit in the U.S. Senate. Hiram Revels, that's
strong.
Which is tremendous.
Oh yeah.
Because at this time, rarely did you see any African Americans who were free at this time.
Right.
But let alone educated. Then he was a preacher. And at that time, the African American tradition was that the community got together, especially the AME church. They got together and they educated African Americans who were in ministry, and they sent them to school so that they could come back and share with the rest of the community.
Sure.
Hence, the church became not only the place for religious backing, but it also became the place for scholastic aptitude as well. So you had this young man come back, and now he's elevated by his people and his peers. Now, it was not done just sheerly uncontested. We do know that there was some tension there.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there was.
Yeah, and so he stayed aboard, and he remained the first, he remained in the Senate up until about 1893, I believe. And after that, he resigned to become the president of one of our HBCUs, or historically black colleges, in Mississippi. Hiram Rhodes Revels.
Great story.
Yeah. But he was not the only one, because I was thinking that, you know, he might have been just one of few who were able to break through this glass ceiling and make a name for himself. And lo and behold, I ran across another young man by the name of Pinckney Pinchback. Pinckney Pinchback was... Pinckney Pinchback. That's a great name, isn't it?
It is a great name. Where does a person get the last name Pinchback?
Evidently.
Names are funny how they
It really is. It really is. And then when we learn about American culture and we learn about American history, we know that names were just given, some names were ascribed based upon how people perceived or looked at people. Like, if that was Jack's son, then they named him Jackson. And then that was a whole family of Jack sons.
Right.
You know, William sons, you know, so that's how that goes. But Pinchback here, he was literally the first of all Africans to come out of slavery, out of the Civil War, into the Reconstruction era. He was the first to be elected not only to the Senate, but to the House of Representatives. But he was faced with many challenges, and he was pushed back, not pinched back. He was pushed back, and he was considered to have been one who conspired something. And so the U.S. and the Louisiana state representatives, they basically said that, you know what, you got elected unfairly, and we don't like the way you've been elected. Something had to have been fishy. We think you rigged the votes. So they pushed Pinchback back.
Right.
That was a play on words.
That was a play on words.
And so
sounds like to me. Yeah. It sounded like to me ended up with back pain.
Pinchback had back pains. And so what he later did, he took his act or his show on the road, and as a senator in the state, Louisiana State Senate, he was there. Well, he didn't become a senator with the Louisiana State, but there was a governor who had fallen into some hard times.
Right.
He had some conspiracy charges against him and stuff. And so the Louisiana State senators had elected that Mr. Pinchback would become the governor. Although it was just for 35 days, he was the first governor, and he was the only African-American governor that was elected to any governor's position up until my dear mentor, Douglas Wilder, was elected in 1990 in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So we have here this beautiful history of Mr. Pinchback and Wilder.
And how many years?
About 117. Good grief, you made me add that one up real fast.
That's I mean, you're close, though.
Yeah.
Over 100 years.
Yeah.
About as long since it's been since the U.S. won a bobsled medal.
Congratulations to the bobsled team.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, she's telling us that we're going to have to end with Mr. Pinchback this week. Elmore, thank you so much again for your time, coming and helping us understand and refresh some of our African American history.
I enjoyed it.
You the man. Appreciate you.
Man, I appreciate you.
All right, see you next week?
Definitely.
Okay.
All right, take care.
We'll be right back, folks.
When you see the sign, The Main Event, take a close look inside at a hair studio that offers services by some of the best master stylists in Middle Tennessee. These stylists offer a list of services that compete with large city salons, from trendy cuts for men, women, and children to the latest color techniques, including highlights and bold color accents. Other services offered include permanent hair weaving and relaxing to formal hairstyle for that special occasion. You can also give yourself a very special treat with a full makeover, including full body waxing. For your convenience, we are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until the last client leaves happy. Call and make your appointment at 931-571-8682 or stop by our Tullahoma location at 207 North Jackson Street. Pamper yourself at The Main Event today.
Welcome back. We are preparing to go to the event center.
Yes.
This weekend, right?
This Sunday for the bridal show.
At the event center.
At the Tullahoma Event Center. It's from 1 until 4 p.m.
It sounds exciting. This is, in case you don't know, Mrs. Samantha Terrell Waters. And she's with Thunder Radio, but today we're talking about the bridal event that's coming on Sunday. And it looks like you've got a great lineup. Do you want to tell sort of what you have lined up?
We have almost 40 vendors, and we have everything from DJs to actual event locations, from cake makers to dress and tux providers. We have pretty much everything you can think of. Invitations. People are going to be there. Right, exactly. Photographers, hair and makeup, travel agencies even for your honeymoon. So you can prepare from everything you have to do ahead of time till even after the wedding. There's realtors coming, so if you're buying a new house,
If you're buying a house, they'll give you advice.
Exactly.
And how does the bride, I know they can just show up, but you want them to register if possible?
If they pre-register, they'll be eligible to win extra prizes.
And that's a good thing. You want to share what some of the prizes are?
Well, usually we have prizes that appeal both to the bride as well as to the groom.
So it's okay if he comes.
It is okay if he comes.
It's probably a good thing if he comes.
It's encouraged, yes. We've had grooms that have gotten prizes just for attending. Because it's a free show, everyone can come. Your neighbors, your family, your friends.
And your mom and your dad.
Exactly.
Who often put the bill. So they probably might want to be there.
They might want to help make some decisions.
Exactly.
Definitely. It's a free event, so everybody can come out.
Well,
but if they pre-register,
you don't have room for anybody else unless they're outside vendors.
Yes, outside vendors we do have space
is
for.
Already pretty well packed.
We are out the door. We are packed to the max, and we are super excited.
Now, if you don't know where the event center is in Tullahoma, do you have the address in your head?
Yes, it is 205 Northwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma.
And there's a website about this, maybe?
They can go to our website to find out more.
Okay,
and that's where the brides can pre-register as well. And it's WMSRradio.com.
That's easy.
Pretty easy.
WMSRradio.com.
That's it.
And you just register, and you'll pick it up and show up at the event, and you might win a good prize.
Yes, you could win lots of prizes. These vendors are all bringing something to give to the bride. So you'll have hair and makeup, and, you know.
That's really great. And what'd you say, 2 to 5?
It's from 1 to 4.
1 to 4.
This Sunday.
And so you don't want to miss that, because it's a great opportunity. And a lot of brides are getting married in June. It kind of seems to be a favorite month. And I know there are other months, but the dresses, for instance, will they actually have the dresses there?
Yes. A lot of people will bring them, or they'll bring catalogs that show you all the dresses that they can provide.
So they could possibly try on a dress while they're there,
I think some of them might have them with them.
But at least get a good idea of what's available.
Right. There should be models probably walking around, so you can at least see what the dress would look like, how it would flow.
To do it, because you can't start planning too early. If you're going to have a wedding in June or July, you need to be on the ball right now.
Exactly. And that's why we actually have it right after Valentine's Day, because the engagement season is from Thanksgiving until Valentine's Day.
I know you said you had 40 vendors, and do you want to share who any of those are, or you just want to leave it at that and say that you can find out anything you want to find out?
Well, actually, we have a Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
If you look up The Bridal Show at the Tullahoma Event Center, it'll pop right up on Facebook, and you can see all of the vendors listed, because I don't want to mention them because I'll miss some.
Well, you'll miss somebody.
Yes, definitely.
Right. But it seems to me like when I looked over the list that you have enough information that you're ready to get married when you're done with the show. and you'll give contacts with all these different people, and I'm assuming you can talk to them about how much it's going to cost and all that.
Right. Some of them will even pencil in.
Well, Samantha, we could talk forever about the bridal show at the Event Center this Sunday from 1 to 4. And bring everybody in the family that's going to be involved.
It's absolutely free.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of Living.
Looking for a unique gift for someone special, or perhaps something just for yourself? Then you need to check out Grady Mac Denim Company, right here in the heart of Tullahoma. Grady Mac features the full line of men's and women's Lucky brand apparel. Stop in and check out our denim production line. Grady Mac offers a full line of outdoor sporting apparel and much more. And check out our custom fly fishing equipment, fine art, and signed sports memorabilia. There's something for everyone at Grady Mac Denim Company, the most unique store in Tullahoma.
The Russell Barnett Ford family has over 300 vehicles in inventory, both new and pre-owned. With vehicles starting as low as $29.95, along with rebates and incentives up to $10,000, you will not need to look any further than the Russell Barnett Ford family. Surrounded by great attitudes and even better prices, we want to save you time and money. So look no further than Russell Barnett Ford of Tullahoma and Russell Barnett Ford of Winchester, or visit us on the web at russellbarnett.com. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
We get closer to a world with more birthdays when we take cancer patients by the hand. We help them find answers and guidance and hope, and give them more candles to light. We're the American Cancer Society. Help create a world with more birthdays at morebirthdays.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us from the Tullahoma Area-wide Chamber of Commerce. I think that's why they're here today, since we have Diane Bryant. We've been talking for quite some time before we went on here, but I never did ask them what we were here for today.
Oh, you did?
We're pleased to have Diane Bryant, Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, Donna Henley with Community Cancer Care, I believe, and, of course, the new President, Jamie Knapp. And we're here today to talk about what?
We're talking about babes having a ball.
I'm going to like this. I think I'm going to like this. Babes having a ball.
That's right. And this was the great idea of our President Jamie McNabb for a new event for this year. So let's let her tell us all about it.
All right.
Well, what we were excited about is that in the past we've done a golf tournament. Well, with golf tournaments, you have to have a set of golf clubs. The weather has to be nice, and you basically have to know how to play golf. Well, with bowling, the weather can be pouring down rain outside. You show up, and they'll give you shoes and a ball, and all you have to do is throw it down the alley, and you're ready to go.
You make it sound so easy, Jamie.
It is, and we're so excited.
Okay. And is this obviously because it's babes having a ball? I assume we're talking about it's for the girls, right?
It is.
Okay.
You remembered that well. I was going to say, I think that the title's a good one.
Yeah, I catch on pretty easy.
That's right. That's right. It's going to be on Monday, March the 10th. At the Tullahoma Lanes, and it'll be from 11:30 until we finish up, which will be about 3:30 or 4. And we have Donna with us today because Community Cancer Care has stepped up to be our title sponsor for the event.
Okay, great. So do you get to tell us a little bit what you guys do at Community Cancer Care?
Well, I can. Community Cancer Care is a freestanding radiation therapy center. We're committed to Tullahoma and the citizens by providing the most state-of-the-art technology and radiation therapy.
Okay. So I guess there was probably a time where if you had to have cancer therapy, you had to go to Nashville or somewhere to get that done, but now it can be done in this community.
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
That's correct.
And that's located on Jackson Street.
It's 2114 North Jackson.
Okay.
And I will say one of the things that her business is very, very well known for is just the personal touch, you feel like a part of the family, and I've talked to so many people that it just they really help make what is a really tough situation as good as it can get. So I think that's it's a really great thing that they do there.
Okay. So when is the bowling thing happening? And I mean, when does it start, or have you already started?
We are out recruiting teams. We're recruiting division sponsors, and we're recruiting lane sponsors. Instead of hole sponsors, we have lane sponsors. So,
and the event is March the 10th, so just a few weeks away, and we're so excited.
We've got 20 lanes,
right?
So we can have 20 teams. It's $200 a team, and that includes your lineage, your ball, your shoes, and your lunch. And we've got all kinds of prizes for the teams. We want to fill the place up, if you will. And we have 20 lanes to have whole sponsorships. I did it. 20 lanes to do lane sponsorships. So we're going to be able to promote the businesses that step up as lane sponsors. And then along with Donna, we are looking for 3 division sponsors to be able to help us with the prizes and help us coordinate the winners in a platinum, gold, and silver categories.
Now, you mentioned that Jamie, that it doesn't require a lot of skill to do this.
That's exactly right.
I was thinking it did back when years ago.
It depends on how well you score or you want to score.
Yeah, okay. But you were serious about that. You don't have to have a lot of experience bowling.
You do not.
To be a part of this, right?
And it's a team score. So each lane, each team will take one score from that.
So more of a scramble.
It's a scramble type thing.
So whoever has the best score, that's the one you take. Is that kind of how it works?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
And how many people are on the team?
4.
4. Okay.
There's 4 people.
Okay.
So it's going to be
And we
good
also
fun.
are going to be awarding prizes for the best dressed team. So if you want to get your bowling shirt out with your name on the back of it, be sure and do that.
This really sounds like it ought to be fun, but it's all for women, right?
It is.
Yeah, okay.
It is.
Yeah, okay.
I got a feeling you might show up with your video camera and video something, right?
You know, that could be one of the most enjoyable things that I do. Yes. I'm going to take note of this, absolutely.
You can put this on your calendar.
I'll put this one on my calendar for sure.
Well, we're excited. Tullahoma Lanes has just been so helpful in trying to help us put this together. They are so encouraging. I think they feel that this is just a great opportunity for a great fundraiser for our community. So, as a matter of fact, I went by there and dropped off some flyers today. So, and we do need to remind everybody that to register for this event, they need to call the chamber at 455-5497, and we can take care of whatever they would like to do, whether it's a team or a division sponsorship or a lane sponsorship.
So, I assume it costs something to be a part of this, to be on the team. Is that correct?
Right. It's $200 a team.
Okay.
And that's 4 people on a team.
Okay.
And we do have a deadline. We do have a deadline of March 5th. So we do need those teams to step up by March the 5th.
Okay. And I think we only have just a few spots left. So
yeah, we've got
we're
13,
excited. Yes, we're
13
really
teams at this point. So 20 is our maximum.
So you've trained the ladies of Tullahoma that when you guys have an event, it's going to be a lot of fun. I know that the golf tournament is a tremendous amount of fun, and so they're ready to jump in.
They're ready to jump in.
And our chamber members have stepped up. We have got some incredible prizes from massages to facials to jewelry.
Yes.
I mean, we've just got all kinds of great prizes lined up for this.
Yeah, and that sounds like something most of the ladies would really enjoy. Massages and jewelry. I mean, that's just, what more could you ask for?
We're just continuing Valentine's Day into March.
Okay. Goodness gracious! I'm going to tell you what sounds like a great idea. And this is the first one of these.
Yes, it is. This is the inaugural.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And it sounds to me like, or best I remember, that's some pretty good physical exercise for you ladies as well, is it not?
It is.
Do you bowl, Jamie?
I do. I
Yeah.
do. I haven't bowled in a while. I've been playing golf more, but looking forward to getting back and giving it a throw.
What about you girls? Do you bowl?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
I don't bowl either. It's my husband bowls, as a matter of fact, or he used to. Let's say those leagues require too much of a commitment of your life.
Yeah, but this is like a one-day event.
It is a one-day event, and
event.
we're probably going to have a couples tournament in the fall.
Yeah.
So
okay.
you will be able to come out and play then. So you better get your ball out and start practicing.
Well, it's been about 20 years, or maybe 30. I can't remember.
Hardest part would be finding your bowling ball, right?
Well, you don't have to have that, though,
That's right.
apparently.
That's right.
You can show up out there and they furnish the shoes and the bowling ball and all that's included, I assume, in the entry fee. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay.
And lunch.
And lunch.
And rumor has it, of course, there's a lot of people that claim they have the best hamburgers in town, but rumor has it that the bowling lanes has got the best hamburger in town.
I have heard that a number of times about Tullahoma bowling lanes, and I'm sorry to say that I've never had their hamburgers, but a lot of people will attest to the fact that they've got some great food out there. So I know this is going to be a great event. Once again, they need to call the chamber.
Call the chamber
if they want to be a part of this. There's 13 teams, and you've got a few spots left,
yes,
right?
We do.
Got seven or eight spots left. So, and we've got lane sponsorships available, so we just need them to call us and we'll get them involved.
Okay, and their sponsorships are still available. You can join Community Cancer Care in sponsoring this tournament. Sounds like a lot of fun, and we're out of time, and we're also out of time for this living show today. So you girls can help me say goodbye to our audience today. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.